New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Now, both of these stories basically fit side by side. This is why I actually split it so that I can actually put the rest with the Parlor story. So this is the part taken from the last story, which dealt with Twitter banning Trump. Now that Trump has been kicked off of one of his favorite pulpits, he may resort to online channels such as Parler, a 2-year-old, more freewheeling alternative to Twitter that has become increasingly popular among President Trump's most ardent supporters. Many have used the forum to spread falsehoods and hateful comments. But Parler, which was already tiny compared to Twitter, has a bigger problem that could threaten its future. Google suspended Parler from its app store on Friday over continued postings that, quote, seek to incite ongoing violence in the United States. The company cited a, quote, ongoing and urgent public safety threat and stated that Parler won't be reinstated until the issues are addressed. Apple has issued Parler a similar warning and given it 24 hours to fix things. Parler CEO John Mays said that in a post with the company, quote, we won't cave to politically motivated companies and those authoritarians who hate freedom of speech. While Trump could migrate to Parler, Grab, or some other alternative site, doing so will greatly limit his influence. McGregor also stated that Trump has always craved legitimacy and standings in the mainstream media despite his complaints about normal reporting he has long referred to as fake news. Quote, he won't get that on another platform. The app for a favorite social media network of President Trump supporters would no longer be sold on Google Play, and Apple is also threatening to pull it. Parler, which bills itself as a, quote, unbiased social media focused on real user experiences and engagement, can't be sold on Google Play until the platform develops some moderation policies. Apple, meanwhile, is giving the app 24 hours to introduce policies before pulling the plug. Quote, we have received numerous complaints regarding objectionable content in your Parler service. Accusations that the Parler app was used to plan, coordinate, and facilitate the illegal activities in the Washington, D.C. on January 6th of 2021 that led, among to others, the loss of life, numerous injuries, and the destruction of property. Quote, the app also appears to continue to be used to plan and facilitate yet further illegal and dangerous activities. Trump falsely claimed that he won the election and was the victim of unsubstantiated election fraud on a Twitter-like service, which gained millions of users after the election day. Google and Apple's moves against Parler comes after Twitter and Facebook suspended the president's account indefinitely. On Friday, YouTube banned alt-right leader Steve Bannon's podcast, quote, The War Room, following an appearance by the president's lawyer Rudy Giuliani, where he continued to make baseless claims about election fraud. On Friday, Twitter suspended the accounts of former Gen Mike Flynn and lawyer Sidney Powell for spreading the same misinformation. As stated in the previous video that I brought to you guys, I said that if they decide to ban Trump, both Facebook and Twitter, instead of allowing him to just basically ride the 2 weeks that he has left in office out, that you would end up emboldening and you would cause a lot of anger and frustration with a lot of the individuals who feel that they were wronged, right? So among Giuliani, among Trump, and among some of the other people who are in higher positions that are continuously stating all of these claims, you've now muted all of those people, right? So the outlet for a lot of his followers were allowing and seeing those people speak, right? That allow that release of frustration and anger, right? So now they're going to feel like they're getting pushed into a corner, right? Because now they have nobody who, in a sense, are speaking their language. They have nobody who is able to hear them and to, in a sense, speak out for them because they feel voiceless. So now the moment in time that those voiceless people, right, don't have quote unquote a leader, don't have other people that are a reflection of that leader that are able to speak out and say the things that they want to hear and different things of that nature, now those people are going to start to act out. And Parler stated, I'm sorry, not Parler, but Apple and I think Google stated that there were people that are on Parler that were making plans to do the exact same thing, but the only difference is they plan to go there armed. So like I said before, this is going to start to transform and to turn into something vastly different versus what we initially saw. But what I mainly told people is that a lot of these things that were happening throughout last year were all tests. They were testing the waters to see how far each and every time that they could sit up there and get closer and closer to the Capitol, see if they can bring armaments and weapons and see if people view them as non-threatening or not, right? To see the police response or to see if the government might respond. Because everything checked off green, that's when they moved in towards the Capitol. That's when they moved in towards the Capitol. These were people that were emboldened by a lot of their leaders to do this. A lot of their leaders were speaking in code, enabling, right, the emotions and all of the some of the violence and the destruction, right, that occurred, that we all were able to see on social media and on mainstream media. But like I said before, it was far too late. And now it's going to be far too late again for them to undo what it is that Twitter and Facebook has already done. And now Apple and Google are going to decide to do the exact same thing. And what you're going to start to do is that you're going to embolden a lot of those people. You're going to further enrage a lot of those people because you think that you're initially hindering or stopping something when you're not. If maybe this was the 1990s, right, or the early 2000s, I could see them basically putting a huge heavy hindrance, right, a burden on whatever it is that they were trying to do. But now that, you know, social media is so broad, there's hundreds of thousands of places that people can go. There's a multitude of other apps that, you know, people can basically go to, or if some of them have the ingenuity, they could decide to sit up there and make their own if they want to, right? So like I said before, it's going to get way worse than what you could ever imagine. Like I said, it's going to take time because they are being hindered, they're being cornered, they're being gathered. Like I said before, all of this is going to culminate into one big emotional spectacle that we have never before seen within our lifetime. Like I said, mark my words on that one. It might take a little bit of time, but I promise you it is brewing. It's going to be far worse than what you feel is under Yellowstone National Park with that super volcano. It's going to be way worse. And like I said, the main people who are going to be to blame for it are the politicians, are those in government who did nothing about this, who did not speak out against or any of this, who didn't try to shut it down from the beginning because they felt that it was all good in nature and that it's going to, you know, further push them in office and it's going to further push them in light. And if they were, you know, supporting the president and all of his people, it was going to further their political careers, all of which are selfish means to no end. And this is the main thing that I told people before, that the people in office don't care anything about you. They only care about their own selfish gains. But anyways, like I said, people are going to learn. Let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.